So, ang first ko talaga na exposure sa vlogs talaga nung nasa college ako. Kasi nung nasa college kasi ako, we have researches, we have reviews, we have term papers. So, nung nasa college, yun yung first ko talaga na nakakabasa ako ng vlogs. Pero during that time, wala pa akong parang interest talaga na magkaroon ng sarili kong vlog. Kasi I was thinking na parang hindi pa ako ganun ka-ready. Kasi parang feeling ko, kulang pa yung nalalaman ko. But then, after nung graduation, nagturo na ako sa college, naisipan ko na dapat merong additional na resource material yung mga estudyante ko. Kasi sometimes sa klase, hindi ko nasasabi lahat. And I was thinking na pagkatapos ng klase, pwede silang mag-login lang and then mag-search sa internet. Basahin nila yung mga articles ko na posible na hindi ko nasabi yung mga opinion ko nung nasa klase pa. So, yun yung una talaga na simula talaga ng vlog ko. And this happened in August 2009. Tapos, it was like a prelude for the 2010 elections for May 2010 nung year after nun. So, yun yung start talaga ng vlogging career ko. Para sa akin, yung motivation ko talaga sa pag-vlog, una, yung pagmamahal ko sa writing. Kasi, elementary pa lang ang high school, nasusulat na ako sa school paper. So, doon pa lang parang nakahasa na yung writing skills ko. And then, pagkatapos ng college, yun nga, nag-start na ako ng vlogging ko. So yun yung the mere act kasi, yung of vlogging, yung pag-research, pagsusulat, pag-publish, I find joy in doing it. So it's also the thing that motivates me. Kaya nag-enjoy ako when I do it. So that's my main motivation. Yung the mere act and enjoying it, that's my number one motivation. As a vlogger, I have to say na those people who write commentaries are also those things that I look up. No? Kunwari, siguro si Randy David, kasi may mga follow siya dati, and yeah, siguro nga ngayon pa rin. Randy David, definitely, kasi he's been writing commentaries. So yan, local yan. So, including sina Lourdes de Vera, pero internationally naman, siguro sabihin natin sa US, yung mga essayists, sina Andy Rooney, sina Bill O'Reilly, Glenn Beck, yung ibang mga yung mga talk show hosts also. For me, I think, would like to believe na siguro dahil din sa content ng vlog ko, yung ibang mga news agencies, nakakabasa din sila of course, and then when they read it, then they would ask for for my permission to repost my articles sa kanilang mga news websites. So, yun, na-feature, na-repost din yung article ko sa Rappler, sa Yahoo Philippines, sa GMA News Online. So, so definitely Filipino. So, yun yung sabi ko na, consider ko na writing opportunities na which came just because of my blog. So, at sa advantages naman, para sa akin yung mga skills probably, yung writing skills, and of course yung research skills din. Kasi when you write in a blog, you have to make sure that the content is well-researched. Talagang napag-aralan mo ng mabuti. And yun nga, like what I mentioned in other interviews before, na kung ano yung nababasa nila sa blog, it's not the only thing that you know. Meron pang deeper na research, much more time that you have spent in research kaysa makita nila. It's like, kumbaga, ano yung nababasa nila, yung nasa likod doon na research, it's much more effort pa. Kasi diba, when we write, you have to make sure that the content is really good. So yun yung mga kinakailangan na skills na na-develop sa akin, yung mga advantages sa writing skills ko. And of course, siguro yun din yung pagbigay din ng time and dedication, parang doon din na-improve din yun sa aking sarili na nakatulong yun sa akin sa aking professional career din. Shared articles, definitely siguro, ito, on top of my head, it has to be yung article ko sa GMA News Online. It's the article about the white skin Filipinos standard. Yung beauty na standard ng Filipinos na pag hindi maputi, parang hindi na agad maganda. So, it's one of those articles that is well received. Kasi it has been shared 1,000 times sa GMA News. And siguro yung, not really that most discussed, but siguro close to my heart was the viral article, yung 8 things younger than what was in Rile. Kasi it's the first article that I had na naging viral siya. And at the same time, marami din yung nag-comment, like different personalities and different journalists. They would share it to their accounts and then, so yun. First, merong mga specific na skills na kinakailangan sa pag-vlog. It's not that you have the fingers and then the keyboard and the computer, then you can vlog. I think one has to be responsible. So kung gusto mo talagang mag-vlog, you have to have this in mind na dapat, the things na i-share ko, aside from the fact that I love it, is the thing na makarelate sila. Kasi if you're just blogging about yourself, I don't think na many people will really catch up to what is happening and updates about sa life modes because not all of us are celebrities. Yung iba feeling lang, pero hindi lahat. So, kinakailangan natin isipin yung mga bagay na yun. So, pag nag-vlog kayo, you have to choose anong genre, anong topic, anong broad na idea ang pwede nyo i-share. And for my case, I was thinking na it has to be about politics or society. So, yun ang ginawa ko. So, pwede nyo if you want techno-blog, then you do it. Basta as long as one, you know something about it or you have interest and fascination with it. And thirdly, that you have the joy in doing it. Kasi if you don't find happiness in doing it, there's no point actually in vlogging, di ba? If you're just there for the money, I don't think na it will succeed. Kasi nga, it has to be something na you enjoy and you have fulfillment with. Vlogging is a very nice tool kasi una, it's free. Then you can post anytime, anywhere, and there's no fee involved. So dapat sa atin, especially sa mga kabataan, dapat i-grab natin opportunity to share yung knowledge natin. Dapat hindi natin ipagkait yung dapat namang alam natin. So, secondly, dapat responsible tayo. Dapat alam natin yung mga sensibilities na involved when we write. Kasi hindi natin pwedeng sabihin just because meron tayong freedom na pwede mong sabihin lahat all out. Hindi, that's not how it works. Kasi dapat meron tayong limitations, meron tayong ethics na tinatawag. So you have to follow by these rules. I owe my success definitely sa parents ko kasi sila yung nagtaguyod sa akin. Yung mama, papa ko, sila nagtrabaho, sila yung nagpalaki sa akin. And especially for my father, tinuruan niya ako ng value ng education. So yun, I think it's one of those things talaga na nakatulong kung saan anuman ang posible na narating ko ngayon. It's because of my parents and how yung sa kanilang upbringing, yun ang malaking influence sa akin.